But good morning, everyone. My name is Wellington Spetic. I'm so happy and so grateful to my co-organizers, and welcome to the second Believe in New Mexico Symposium. So as we were talking just a few minutes ago, it's been, I think, 6 months now that we started this conversation, and it's happening now. And, one of the main objectives of our New Mexico for Good program is to be a convener for change makers. And I think that's exactly what that means. We're gathering here many change makers in our state, and we have an awesome schedule for you, an awesome agenda. And, I can't wait to get started. So later on, you'll be hearing all about our upcoming cool speakers and guests. But, you don't want to hear too much from me. I think our colleagues have a better voice and will do a better job at MC. So with that, I would like to invite my colleague and co-organizer, Riley. Riley, you want to say a few words and welcome people? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wellington. And I share all of Wellington's fantastic comments regarding how grateful we are to join us, that you were able to join us here today and have this discussion with us. Before we get started, I want to have a chance to read our UNM acknowledgement in respect of the land. Founded in 1889, the University of New Mexico sits on the traditional homelands of the Pueblo of Sandia, the original peoples of New Mexico, Pueblo, Navajo, and Apache, since time immemorial, have deep connections to the land and have made significant contributions to the broader community statewide. We honor the land itself and those who remain stewards of this land throughout the generations, and also acknowledge our committed relationship to Indigenous peoples. We gratefully recognize our history. Thank you so much for attending, and thank you so much for being part of this. As we go through this, we'll have a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting things on our program. I'm going to turn it over to Genevieve Chavez Mitchell, who will guide us through the next steps.
Welcome, everyone. We're just thrilled and excited that you're here. We'd like to invite you to share your name, where you're from, and maybe something that you love about New Mexico. Additionally, if you feel free to put in your LinkedIn connection if you want people to reach out to you, or your email. I'd like to invite everyone to please mute your audio during the presentations so that we don't have any background noise. We'd like to see your beautiful faces during the course of the day. However, if you're having internet issues, please turn off your camera. That seems to help when there is internet issues. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge our planning team, what I'm calling our executive team: Wellington Spectic, Riley White, my colleague and co-troublemaker, Paul Zelizer, and myself. We've been working on this now for many months, and we're very glad to be here. I'd like to just share with you quickly what we're going to be doing today. We have a wonderful agenda for you, and it is, there's a link for the agenda. We'll do a welcome, and shortly we'll be hearing from our morning keynote speaker, Vanessa Roenhorst. Riley and Wellington will be sharing their research, and then we've got panels on social entrepreneurship and impact investing in the late morning. We'll have lunch, a lunch break, and then we'll do a networking breakout group. So you get to choose what breakout group if you would like to come in and just have discussion with people about the topics that are presented. Then in the afternoon, we'll have social entrepreneurship and impact investing applications. So the morning panels are what is it and why is it important? In the afternoon, it's the application of. Then we have a wonderful performance break by poet Hakeem Bellamy. And our closing keynote speaker is a friend and colleague, Lawrence Lawrence Ford, who is a very inspiring speaker. I hope that you'll stay around to join us then. So looking forward to meeting everyone during the course of the day. Enjoy your day. And I'd like to introduce my colleague, Mr. Paul Zelizer.
So glad to be here. You know, like when you work on something for a really long time and you're like working on it and you're working on it and you're working on it and you're working on it for like 6 months or more, and then you like get here. And it's so good to be here. We've had over 200 people sign up. Just can't be more thrilled to be here with you all. Thank you for coming. This is really a cautionary tale today. So be really careful about who you invite on a road trip. What is he talking about, right? About a year ago, I heard from a friend in Boulder that we should go up to Boulder. He's a social entrepreneur named Greg Barry. He works with Lawrence Ford. And we should go up to Boulder and hear about something they're doing at the United Nations, some very innovative work, bringing together social entrepreneurs who are working in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal areas. There's 17 of them. Dana Kohler can tell us all about it, right? And impact investors, and they're getting more resources in the hands of people doing really important work to make the world a better place. And Genevieve Chavez, I called her up and said, hey, Genevieve, we should go to Boulder. And she said, yes. And it was a very inspiring conversation, both the drive up and learning about what was happening at the United Nations. And on the way back in the car, we should do something like this in New Mexico. Something, let's make it our own. We need to have this conversation about bringing together people who have resources with people who are doing the good work. And here we are a year later. It got a little wild with COVID and it didn't go exactly according to plan, but here we are. We wish we could be in person with you all. We're so excited to have the conversation this way, and we look forward to the time we can be in person again safely. So you'll hear a lot more today, but that's enough out of me. To get us started with a welcome from the Anderson School of Management, I want to say thank you and introduce you to Dr. Mitzi Montoya. I had the absolute honor and privilege of sitting down. I'm a podcast host, and I got to sit down with Mitzi for almost an hour and hear about her background and her vision for Anderson and bringing social entrepreneur and impact investing intentionality to what's happening here in business education. And I can truly tell you, we are really lucky and blessed to have Dr. Mitzi Montoya as one of our leaders in business education in New Mexico. So Mitzi, take it away.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you all for being here. It's an honor to have an opportunity to welcome you all on behalf of the Anderson School of Management and the University of New Mexico. I'm thrilled that you're here with us today. And I want to say a special thank you. Many things I miss not being together face to face, but one thing I miss is not being able to hear a huge round of applause and thank you to our organizing team. So I have to give a shout out to my amazing faculty first, of course. So thank you, Riley and Wellington, for your leadership. I appreciate you representing us well in this way and continuing to ensure that Anderson is a force for good in New Mexico. And thank you, Paul and Genevieve, for your partnership and your thought leadership and for bringing this to us and continuing to help us stay on the right track. So I think it's very important. I'm really excited about this conversation and what you all are doing, because we know not just young people, but certainly young people that are at university today and coming into the university system, but all of our community and business leaders care about how business can be a force for good. And we certainly have work to do. We have great tradition in this state of leading in that way. And I think it's incredibly important that we think about how can we create more inclusive and responsible business and economic development as a leader in New Mexico, but extending that to the nation and the world. Certainly the promise of inclusive prosperity is incredibly important. And I appreciate the thinking that you're doing. And more importantly, everybody else that is in this virtual conference today, I appreciate the work that you're doing. This is at the level of one. Every single one of us can make a difference and be change makers for good. And I appreciate what you're doing. And I hope that you'll continue to engage with us as you do that work. I certainly believe that the University of New Mexico and specifically Anderson School has the opportunity and responsibility to be a leader in the nation as a model for inclusive business education. We are an incredibly diverse business school. We are a research business school. And I think we have an opportunity to show how we can teach, lead, learn, research differently. And I believe that our peer business schools around the country have much to learn from us. So I thank you for what you're doing. I look forward to learning from you. And I look forward to the rest of the day. So best wishes for the rest of the conference and welcome to all of you.